because I feel like every time I see Anthony, he looks different. Like every time I see Matt, he looks the same. Every time I see this picture of Kyle, it looks the same. But every time I look at Anthony, I feel like he's got like, I feel like somebody's bored with their character in a video game and they keep swapping like facial details out.
Every Monday night I go into the character editor and I'm like, what should that be this week? Very ambiguous.
I keep waiting for him to grow the mustache further, and it's going to start
I'm waiting for like green hair and like purple eyes and bigger breasts, you know, like just crank the chest slider all the way up. Perfect. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Laser Source Podcast, the #1 podcast if you like Anthony's large breasts.
Jesus Christ.
I got some great news today. I'm not going to bury the lead. So it turns out I got an email today from Lumos, of all people. Look, it's going to fucking have a stroke.
You're so stupid.
I think you realized we were live that whole time.
No, I realized it the whole time. Like, I'm not going to bury the lead. A minute and a half of talking about this video game.
About my breasts.
I got an email. I got an email from Lumos, and they were like, "Hey, just so you know, we added bidirectional scanning to Lumos. Yeah, Wecreat
email 4 years overdue.
Whatever, dude. Like, I was just like, okay, and they're like, "Can you tell people about it?" And I was like, "You got it." So now I have to tell people, "Hello, people. The Wecreat Lumos has bidirectional scanning now. Also, I think it requires a firmware update. So if you actually own one of those, make sure you update your firmware."
So was that right the other day when I shared that video, or was that after the fact?
That was after the fact. They literally just pushed it out. But yeah, I know.
Breaking news.
I wrote them back and I haven't gotten a response yet. Maybe I have. I should look at my email during the show when someone else is talking. But I was like, how about the Vision? Because that'd be nice too if the Vision machines also got a firmware update that allowed bidirectional scanning, and that would make those actually usable. The sad thing is that I have a like review that I've put like 13 or 14 hours into that's just bashing this fucking machine to hell because it doesn't have bidirectional scanning, and it's so crooked and evil that it needs to be completely rewritten.
Just spend 1 minute at the front and it's like, hey guys, watch this video, but realize that because of it, changes are made.
This is what happens when the people speak.
I can't do that, but I would like to do that.
Ask them if they can make tri-directional, and that way you can still say it's garbage.
They're not getting off the hook for the amount of time that it took to correct this, but I'm glad that it's corrected.
Yeah, props to them for doing that.
I'm going to include it, but it's not going to damage the final score of the unit now.
What would be really interesting now is to see the X-Tool video that you made, like where you showed X-Tool with bidirectional.
Mm-hmm.
And then now with the new bidirectional update, what's the time difference? Like mainly like what's the difference now that this actually does what it's supposed to do?
I haven't even run the firmware update yet, so I don't even know how good or not good it is. It could be like bidirectional but twice as slow. You know, like I have no idea. So I have to
like on the character editor, how firm did they slide up the scale is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't post tonight's episode, so if you're here, you're a real fan because I didn't tell anybody that this was happening. Whoops.
I'm sending an announcement. I don't know.
Yeah, and so I think the vast majority of our audience missed that, so they'll have to catch it in the rerun, which is good. Because otherwise they'd unsubscribe. So that's my Wecreat Lumos news. That's what the clickbait thumbnail's all about. Stoked about it, and I have a review to redo now. What have you guys thought about the Ultimate Guide to Laser Processing so far? Have you liked it?
Phenomenal.
It's boring.
No, I like that it's short. Like you can watch it in like 5 minutes or less. Like, you know, it's popping. It's the nice thing is for somebody who really is trying to learn from the beginning, it's going to be super useful. For people who already know stuff, the good news is kind of just tapping on stuff that you probably already are aware of. But it's good just to kind of check in and see because you might have learned what I learned 5 years ago isn't what's good now. You know,
Right.
So
Sure.
something to consider if you're not watching those yet. Take a look.
Yeah, nobody's watching them yet. That's why I'm mentioning it. So I'd like to get some people to see. I know you have, but you don't count.
Oh,
there goes Kyle popping off.
Beep boop.
Beep boop. I wanted to show you guys. So the first set of episodes for that has been all about like safety, right? So we have like the eye protection episode, the respirator protection episode, we've got the extraction and exhaust episode, and then the material safety episode. The next one is and I grabbed the wrong freaking drive. Whoops, hold on. Sorry, Rhiannon.
Character editor Alex slid intelligence to -4.
I did, yeah.
Triglycerides back to 150. Like everything else.
That'd be nice. Let's see. Okay, editing. Did I put it in here? Where did I put it? I think I did. All right, so check this out. Let me share my screen. A little screeny here. Here's my computer. Don't mind all the porn. So this is all of the videos and photos that I took for the next section of videos.
The laser source section. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so this will be all about identifying your laser sourse.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say identifying your laser source.
Yeah, identifying your laser source. And as you can
There's
see
one.
here, we're going to have separate episodes for each type of source. So we have fiber, UV, diode, CO2G, that's gantry, but really it's glass tubes. And then CO2 galvo, which is galvo, but really it's RF tubes. So that's how those are going to be separated. So those are going to be separated by actual tube type. And just like a massive amount of reference photos. They're going to kind of end up being glorified slideshows, but they're very specific, pointed information. You'll also notice there's stuff in here that has nothing to do with that. And that's because while I had these machines torn apart, and I completely tore apart every single machine in my shop to do this, like all of my major everyday drivers, all the Mactron lasers are completely stripped down. And while I was doing this, I just got photos and videos of everything, because later on in the series, like a section or two from now, it's going to be a month or two until we get to it. But we do have intro kind of like anatomy style courses that show you all the parts of each type of machine. Yes, Matt.
Thank you for taking my question. My arm is getting tired. Did you clean out your machines while you had them taken apart? And if so, how dirty were they? Because I feel like that's actually a question I've seen people ask before. Like, how gross do they get inside?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. This is far from the first time that I've done it, so it's not as dirty as it could have been, but it was still dirty, and you should be doing this on a semi-regular basis.
Because I think a lot of people forget that sometimes these things are like static buildup machines, and like like all the particles. I know because my CO2 galvo, I had to take the side panel off one time to mess with something with Kyle. And I didn't put it back on for like 2 days, but I still had to get stuff done because I was trying to play with it and fix it and work. And like within 2 days, I was just like,
yeah, they definitely can get pretty grody. And luckily, like, again, this is far from the first time that I've done this. So mine weren't as bad as they could have been. But there were definitely some moments with the data vac where like you hit it the wrong way and it just goes and just like spits out like the violent remains of like old dust bunnies or whatever. So
in your face.
Yeah, each one of these episodes is going to be separate, because finding what kind of source you have or identifying the parts in your laser is a separate process depending on the kind of laser you have, which is going to inform how you go about your discovery process. But for the actual like anatomy episodes, we tear down like everything down to the laser path, which is cool. Nice. And I actually learned some interesting things. I haven't told anybody this yet. I took a bunch of videos for Kyle that I would share. Maybe I'll share them tonight. But yeah, for the first time ever. So on my laser, let's see if I can find like a decent picture of it. So my laser kind of sits. Come on, where's just like, give me the path. Hold on. It's all metal and it all looks the same.
By the way, when you say my laser, which laser are you talking about?
The CO2 Galvo.
Okay.
So this is inside the laser path, right? This is where the laser source is. And my laser kind of just sits like this with the fans up. So the fans are up here along the top edge. And nowhere on this is there any kind of identifying marks or stickers or whatever. There's one sticker by the output where it says like laser radiation caution, and there's a void if broken warranty sticker on the back. That's it. And when I bought this laser, I paid a premium for it because I got a coherent source in it. And I've always kind of wondered in the back of my mind, like, did I really get a coherent? You know what I mean? Or like, is it like a Davi or something? And I never knew. And you can't tell from just like pictures or looking at the outside of it because they all look like the fucking same thing. They all have the
same enclosure around them.
Yeah, they're all just giant gray boxes covered in like a bunch of heat sink fins. So I finally lifted this up and looked underneath to see if there was an identifying sticker underneath. And there was. There it is.
Oh,
so
fancy.
Yep, there's your coherent right there. And I finally have a confirmed model number. This is the first time I've ever done it. And I really didn't want to do it because doing so forced me to pull these machine screws up and basically just disalign the entire source.
Yikes.
From the rest of the path. And I knew I was going to have to fix that. And I knew that would suck. And I did it anyway because it felt like it was really important to show that stickers can be hiding, you know what I mean? And like, this is, if you really want to be 100% sure and you don't trust your manufacturer or whatever, like this is where you need to look to find that information. So when I say we go deep, I mean like the deepest, because I've literally just completely dismantled these machines in order to make a point here for these videos.
And is it just me? Does it look like they tested the actual output too? Because it says it's a 30 watt in the model number, but then it's handwritten on there 37 watt.
Yeah, it does. It does look like that for sure.
That was cool. I'm glad you saw that.
That's
Dude.
a nice
touch.
You guys are wondering, it's right up here in the corner, 37 watts right there. Probably a peak power output, right? Rather than like a standard power output. But yeah, it sure does look like they did some testing, and it's just cool. You know, it's just like, oh, coherent source, neat.
Yeah.
So there's that. I took a couple extra photos for telling the difference between easy CAD boards because I figured we'd have to cover that at some point. I even went in and grabbed some photos of like the this is through the neck into the scan head, so you can see the actual galvo mirror in there, like at the end of the barrel. That is the first mirror.
Looks like you're going through a beam expander there.
Yep, and we have that too. I got lots of pictures of the beam expander assembly and kind of how that's all put together. Obviously, this neck from the laser path to the scan head, like that assembly is going to be different depending on your manufacturer. I've seen it done multiple different ways at this point. So that whole assembly is cool to see in mind, but not necessarily going to be accurate for everybody that's watching, but it'll give you an idea. I'm hoping it'll just like kind of get you comfortable with the order of things. And then if you choose to investigate, you know, you have kind of like a jumping off point. So we have all of that. I got things like the beam expander harness. This is where the beam expander actually lives inside of that there. If I can ever actually get it to focus. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so you can see kind of how that's harnessed in, which is interesting. So I really went like as hard as I could with this to get as much as possible. So this is all the stuff you guys are going to see coming up, because the next section of the Ultimate Guide, we're moving on from safety now. We're done with safety, at least basic safety. We're moving on to identifying laser sources. And then after that, we're going to be installing Lightburn. So we are getting into software soon, and we will be on our way and actually like using the laser and doing things like finding focus or adjusting for lens corrections and things like that. All that kind of stuff is coming back up, but we're going to be using Lightburn 2.0. So, you know, it'll all be nice and fresh for everybody that's interested in that kind of stuff. So
very cool.
what I'm using. Laura wants to know what camera I use. That's all shot with the camera that we do 90% of our work on video, or otherwise it's the Canon R6, the Mark 1, the original. And I think I have the RF 24 to 70 L glass on there, the 2.8 version, if you're wondering.
That's
about
the wide angle, right?
That is like the medium telephoto. So the wide is 15 to 35.
Yeah,
that one's like
Super wide.
Yeah, that one's crazy wide. The 24 to 70 is a very like mid. People usually compare like our field of view and kind of our depth perception to a 50 millimeter. So 24 to 70 is like very average. It's, you know, a little wider, a little tighter than you see on your day to day. And then something like the 70 to 200 would be long, right? That'd be like a zoom lens.
Gotcha. Nice.
Like there's people with the 50-50 eye vision, right? Crazy.
Something like that. I think it's 2020.
Is that people with one eye?
I
They got 50-50 vision.
It's just like this right here, like, hey guys, good to see you tonight on the show.
That's funny. So yeah, that's what I've got. That's what's up. Oh, also Kyle mailed me some electronics that I needed to get back to work on getting LETV up.
Hey,
so that'll be coming back soon.
Oh,
I have
nice.
some test playlists put together that are like sound tones and ads for stuff that we don't have anymore. So if you are watching that channel and you see that go up and you're like, what the fuck are they playing on this? That's why, and it'll be replaced with regular content once I get it all working. So I'm also working on that.
I feel like stuff from what is it, Laser Everything Else should be like commercials on there where it's just
Absolutely.
like us doing the
yeah, it just cuts in randomly
just
between
like
episodes.
it's like really helpful, useful information, and then us being idiots.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh,
I really like the one where Miranda made me take it down, rightfully so. It shouldn't have been on the channel, but there's one where Matt's like, "Hey, wake up! I'm being serious," and then it cuts to me, and I've just got like my hat pulled back. Like, and my
I remember
nose
that.
is up.
we were on a timer that day because I had to be somewhere and we were trying to film something, and freaking idiot right here. I'm like, bro, I have 45 minutes before I have to leave, and Alex was like, look at the thing on his face.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
one. That one needs to go up on the Laser Everything Else. That'd be funny. If you don't know what we're talking about, I started a new channel that is full of just garbage clips of us doing stupid shit that has nothing to do with
and
lasers.
fun edits that are just funny.
If you're interested in that, there's a link at the bottom of the YouTube channel.
If you're excited about anything Alex has talked about in the last 15 minutes, you should hit the like button.
Oh yeah, indeed. Please.
By the way, chat, tell us what excites you.
Well, Alexandra Arena Gill is excited or not. I can't really tell because Wecreat refunded my $50. Do you know why? I have no idea why. Did you ask them to do that? Did they just do it on their own?
Did you send 50 doll hairs?
What?
Maybe
was it from
from
an early backing of one of their products, or
yeah? What happened? I feel like we need some context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could also be, I will say, if you ordered something like a pre-order, I do know that in some instances, in other things where I have ordered stuff, if you ordered something but then that one sold out and you happen to be order number 1003, but there was 1,000 of them, they will just send you your money back. But there should also be an email that says, hey, unfortunately, thank you so much for your collaboration. Unfortunately, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Eufy money.
Yeah.
This reminded me, I didn't get my $100 back from Xtool for not purchasing the F1. Ultra from a year ago. Sorry, not the F1. The F1.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second. The F1?
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago.
The F1 rocks.
Some dude in an Amazon truck is just lighting a cigar with $100 bill.
I can't even begin to tell you how much I wish I had the F1 Ultra when I was doing this 3,000 piece order, because it was these little wooden tokens.
Yeah, do you have one that we can look at?
Yeah, right here.
Ooh.
So it said one drink on one side, And then on the opposite side had the logo.
Ooh, that's a lot of detail on that side too.
Yes. So I had to cut 3,000 of these and then put them on under the UV and engrave this side, which took 6.5 minutes to do 9 of them, and then this side that was like 48 seconds.
So a minute and a half.
You don't have any kind of galvo diode system?
No, I don't. I wish I did.
You get something like the cheap little laser packers, like the old ones, like the LP2 that doesn't have any IR source in it.
But this is where he makes fun of me for the CO2 galvo, but it's crazy.
I wonder if the CO2 galvo would have had the.
Send me the file. I'll do it right now.
I don't think so. I doubt
Send me the file.
Send me the file.
The diode would, though.
The diode would. I 100% agree with that.
I think that something like the Laser Pecker 2 is still a really good buy because you don't pay for that IR source. It's literally just a galvo style diode, and that could be really strong for that use case.
I'm kind of kicking around the idea of Frankensteining together a EasyCAD 2 board with a fiber connected diode source and a galvo head to make my own, and I'm taking the money I made from this to maybe put that together or start putting it together.
That's psychotic.
Probably, but I think it sounds like fun, and having a diode galvo that I could go up to a 300 millimeter lens on, but also swap lenses and run with EasyCAD or with Lightburn rather.
It sounds like vision loss, dude. You ought to be careful with that shit. Especially before the scan head is on and you've just got lasers like shooting out horizontally across the room.
Yeah.
That would spook me.
Look like I'm throwing a rave.
It's like who wants to be a millionaire, except it blinds everybody in the audience.
You should literally just like have the glasses like drop down and it's just like
smoke machine. The whole get up.
It's not good.
You could use one of those like Niji 80-watt units.
Oh my word!
Well, no,
something cool like
is
that.
it Laser Tree? I think it's Laser Tree. I get them and Two Trees mixed up all the time, but I think it's Laser Tree that sells these fiber coupled diode sources that they can like put basically like a little emitter on. So I'm thinking if I did that through a beam expander into a galvo head and through a lens, then
have you sourced 455 nanometer f theta lenses?
I've found a few that they say are actually rated 1060 and 455. So I'm thinking for the $80 it would cost me to pick one up, it's kind of worth it. So, and if I blow a lens, it's $80.
It's a fun science experiment.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's probably a down the road thing, but I'm saving up for it. So
yeah, it's cool. I have something relevant to that too, and it looks like Matt also has something that may or may not be relevant. Knowing Matt, what are you fidgeting with over there, Matt? I'm looking at you. What are you doing?
I was gonna see if Anthony will send me that file. I want to see if the CO2 galvo.
Oh my god!
I want to see. I mean, why not? We're sitting here having fun tonight. It's a good night. It is my birthday night, by the way. I am a birthday.
It is Matt's birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Matt in chat. I guess we brought that up before the show started. Kyle, you'll be interested to see this, buddy. I forgot to show this earlier while we were chatting, but Anthony reminded me of it. I finally tore down the 30-watt LP Mactron, and that's the source from it right there.
Nice.
You can't see it, but on this side of the desk over here are all the other components. And then I took that big blue single-piece welded steel case and threw it right in the dumpster. So I don't know if you guys remembered, or even if you've been watching this channel long enough, look at all the happy birthdays you get, Matt. But a long time ago, I promised, like I do many things, that we would build a test bench out of this old laser to do things like swap in sources, to do like live testing, or do crazy like just test bench shit like Anthony wants to do with his diode. And we actually like tore apart the base for it now. So I did that while I was tearing apart all the other machines for the how to identify your source episodes. So this is a part, and it's cool. It's just cool to see because I've put like, I don't know, 100,000 hours on this machine, this particular source, and it's looking really good for its age. And it was cool to just hold it and be like, oh, like, you're my baby. You made me so much money. And there it is. So kind of cool.
It's the original.
Yeah, this is OG right here. So yeah, I don't think I have a picture of like the rest of the desk with all the other components on it, which is a shame because it's pretty cool, but I don't see it in here. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that too while we're at it.
Dude, I saw this awesome video where this guy built a PC into his desk, his gaming desk. And I thought, how cool would it be if somebody did that with a laser? And
yeah,
I
thought about that.
Supply, all that stuff laid out under plexiglass.
Rhiannon and I definitely talked about doing that, and I almost wanted to do it with this machine, but I really want the parts for like the test benching, and so I feel like that setup, while very cool and a nice ode to my old school fiber laser, would probably prevent me from doing that efficiently. So I decided against it. But those are cool, and that would be a super neat way to like display that kind of stuff.
It would make it hard to swap out sources and whatnot.
Yeah, totally.
And if you go from like a 100-watt source down to like that 30, you would need to do like power supply too, because you'd overvolt the source. So yeah, that'd be a lot of extra work.
Yeah, it affects a lot all the way down the chain. I mean, even when you get to the end, you know, depending on how much wattage you're throwing around, you might even have to like, you know, swap lenses. So everywhere from the lens to the source to the power supply, maybe the controller. Like a great example is if you're moving from fiber on the test bench to like a CO2 galvo source, then you need to swap the analog controller for the digital one. Yep. Right, or vice versa. So you're going to be doing controller swapping too. So there's a lot that needs to be like very kind of plug and play universally on the board. That's kind of what I need to spend some time designing next in order to get that project moving on to the next stage. But I'm very happy with the fact that I finally kind of gutted that laser. It was hard because the steel case is just one piece. I mean, it's literally just like now on the modern ones, you've got the panels that slide off the sides. This didn't have that. It was literally welded like shut and had these two little doors. Huh?
It was back from the 1900s.
It was from the 1900s when Matt was born. You had these like heavy steel doors with keys that locked. And when you removed them, you couldn't take any of the components out because instead of having the like front and back that slide away and the walls that slide up and off the machine, it's seriously just a steel frame, like a cube without sides. So there's no space to pull anything out. You have to like pull things out one by one to make room to like move things over to get other things out, and like then you got to stop and undo some wires, and then you have to unscrew a connector and then pull out a power. So it was like a freaking 3D puzzle. It was horrible. Which is why I'm so happy that thing is going in the trash. But yeah.
All right, I have to mute this because this thing sounds like it's going to take off.
Matt's really interested in proving this point right now. He really wants to.
You know, I'm not even going to lie. I was sitting there in front of my ultraviolet, my UV laser, and just like pondering how much faster it might or might not have gotten done.
Dude, I know him and Kyle have that 8x expander, but I just don't think that it's going to do what you were just showing on that coin. I think it's pretty tight stuff.
Yeah, it was very intricate detail. And I was also, that's kind of when I was sitting looking at parts and stuff for this little Frankenstein diode project, if that's something I was going to do. So, because I feel like that would be maybe a good intermediary where you're not going to lose so much detail, but hopefully still gain speed. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of diode galvos.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Play that one first.
I was going to say, Clackjack said Commarker makes a Q1, which is the blue diode galvo, similar to their B4 series. 833 on their site, has a 110 work area, and it is light burn or EasyCAD compatible.
That's dope.
It's pretty cool.
Are the lenses interchangeable? It looks like it's probably not.
The B4 set is, right? Anything on that B4 platform?
Well, it's similar to the B4, but it's not the B4.
It looks like probably going to be the M55 lenses.
Yeah, it looks smaller to me too.
Yeah.
Look on AliExpress. I bet you can find it. There's like the normal size lenses and there's like the little ones, but I feel like most of the little ones on open platform lasers are the same.
You know who would probably have something like that in stock?
Wave top,
Probably Wave Top.
son.
Yeah.
Wave top.
It's always
Surprisingly, Cloud Ray was the only one I found.
You know who
for a
doesn't have those in
diode,
stock? Our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus, who I didn't mention at the beginning of the episode. But quick shout out to them. We'll swing back around to that at the end of the episode. But I'm saying it out loud so I don't forget before we close out the show. We are
And
very grateful for
They don't
Johnson
have it because
Plastics
they
Plus.
don't sell lasers.
They don't sell lasers. They sell blanks. And if you guys need laser blanks, Christmas is coming up. And I just mentioned it in the material safety. I was like, if you don't want to deal with all this material safety, just buy your stuff from Johnson Plastics Plus. Because the stuff that they have labeled laser ready is laser ready, and then you don't have to think about it. And that's good. But anyway, well, again, I'll give them the full shout out at the end of the episode instead of the beginning on this one, because I totally dropped the ball. But I just remembered and saying it out loud so I don't forget. So thanks, JP Plus. We appreciate you. Also, I wanted to hit up Mike C, who said, are you still planning on using the GZ Tech? Yeah, just as a proof of concept that the test bench works. That's kind of the hope. I'm sure GZ Tech would really like me to do that because I've had their source for quite a while now. It's not like a gaming PC. Like it's not inadequate all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's still completely relevant and as nice as ever. In fact, I took a lot of photos of that for this episode too. So
the only downside about GZ Tech is now I think their sole US distributor is Laser Star. And I think it's hard to get
for built-ins.
So they went from a couple grand to like 5 digits instead.
The only way, because like if you go on like Alibaba, you can't even really find GZ Tech anymore for the US delivery. Like Laser Star is their US distributor for sources. So you can buy sources. But yeah, the pricing I think is a little bit skewed.
Sometimes the pricing I've seen from Laser Star has been hurtful.
Yeah, where's
would be the word I would use. Hurtful.
With their $25,000 30 watts.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think GZ Tech is a phenomenal brand. I haven't personally used their stuff, but like they're really kind of like on the forefront of advancements in UV fiber.
Yeah.
All
I just hope it's not a gatekeeping situation.
I don't know. I just think it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm testing these theories. That's why I'm not contributing to the conversation.
I was in talks with one of their representatives on like maybe in the future upgrading like my UV source, because the 5 watts phenomenal, but you know, more power. And yeah, then she's like, well, go ahead and contact them because they're our US distributor now. So kind of a bummer.
Well, we'll have to figure out what their pricing is.
But yeah, just to fill the dead air. Bunny
Thanks,
Wash is
sorry,
here.
I'm thinking.
And guess what? He is our very first back-to-back coin challenge winner. So congratulations to him. He has put out some really great work, and everybody decided that for the month of August, his submission was the winner. So congratulations to him. And
you make it sound like it wasn't your choice. You're like, well,
no,
everybody decided it.
Yeah, everybody did. It was pretty. I mean, there wasn't
Communal
a whole lot of voting this month, and I kind of blame myself because I was so tied up with this big project I had to finish that we got into like the voting late and everything like that. But I don't want to like end up with an asterisk next to his name or anything like that. I just think, I mean, there wasn't a ton of votes. We gave it 5 days, and he came out winning. So and his coin did look excellent. He uses some Swiss Bui coins, and I think it was like a hexagonal coin that he used, and the coin looked great, and his artwork was great. So can't really fault him. And Gearant, this month's challenge, we've switched to like the previous month's winner gets to choose the theme for that month. So since Bunny won last month as well, he chose like a spooky kind of theme. You can look at the coin challenge in the Discord, and it'll come up with the theme. It's right before this month's submissions, and he had picked something like kind of along the haunted coin or a spooky coin, since tis the season.
I'm going to post this in team chat on Discord just so that you guys can all see it and give your impressions. But it does look like I can add this to my cart and just buy it if I want to. I don't see anything that's stopping me from doing it.
Through AliExpress, okay.
It looks like it's sold by a third party, but it also, just based on my experience with them, looks like a genuine source. So,
yeah, I mean, it does look like a GZ Tech source.
They, in like the specs and description, they list a bunch of different like powers. So I don't know if like you'd have to reach out and be like, hey, like I actually want this one, and they change the price. Like, I wonder if I bought this right now, like what would they send me? I'm not really sure, but
yeah, because they list a 50-watt GLE, 100-watt GLE. So yeah, this, I mean, I don't know. It kind of has a little bit of a air of sketchiness to it, but
maybe I'll ask. It's pretty weird.
Yeah. Either way, I think they're a phenomenal brand. Even though, like I said, I haven't really used their stuff personally, but I've followed them on all the socials and stuff, and they're kind of pushing the M8 MOPAs and stuff like that, and looks like they're pretty innovative. So
yeah. Man, he's really trying over there. It's like so hard.
I'm trying. Well, the stupid fan's not turning on, like my exhaust. So I that's the only thing stopping me. This, I have the power too high, but with using a 100 lens, like the 110, it was already getting like really nice, really quick design. It's just so deep that you can't see the thing. That's with 10% power. So it's gonna be gorgeous. You watch. I'll get it done next.
But how long is it gonna take?
I'm gonna get there. You had to do testing. By the way, what are some of the questions people are asking? What's going
on? We got Santa's Laser Engraving saying, hello, everyone. I found out about the channel 3 weeks ago.
Hey.
And it's already been very helpful in my fiber adventure, plus engineering brain in overdrive. Hey, get after it, man. The info is all over the channel, there to share. And glad to hear you're enjoying it.
This bro's business name is Santa's Laser Engraving. That's fucking hardcore. That's metal.
Look at the profile photo.
I see it. That's why I was kind of like talking about it. That's like the most metal thing I've ever heard, ever.
I love it. Directed Tech said just finished his first material test card for the Montport Reno.
Yeah, I have that too. So this blip, 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 blip. This one, I didn't show this folder at all, but I also completely gutted the Reno.
That's a gantry? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gantry. Okay. Yeah, it's the one we just did the unboxing. There's the air pump I was looking for, like that entire episode. So I just finished the job. I completely tore it down. All of the fancy fake little panels are off of it. And now, man, it really only took close-up shots. But now it is just that steel frame, and there is nothing left of it as far as like a skin goes. It's completely gone.
Dude, I'm such an idiot. Like midway through that big job, I cleaned my mirrors on my CO2 for the first time in like a year.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why is this thing not cutting through all the way? These settings have worked so well all the time. And then I was like, hey, hang on a minute. And I put some glass cleaner on a paper towel and kind of gave it a little swirl. And oh my God.
You can see it here. Look,
people who don't cut wood a lot, like when you don't mess with wood a lot, you don't realize all the stuff that comes out of it, and that's what you're breathing in, and that's why we talk about all the safety. And then people are like, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't, breathe in pine tar being exhausted into my face."
Yeah,
just saying.
So this is what the Montport Reno looks like with no shell, with no nothing on it. It's just like the bare ass. of it.
Kind of looks like a little better put together than I would have initially expected. I've heard like some complaints from people on the build quality of some mom ports, so that actually looks kind of decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid steel chassis.
Yeah,
You know, it's built like an OhmTech. So the core of it, the bones, super strong. Nothing to worry about there. It's not like a plastic shell around like some, you know, like aluminum rafters or whatever. Like this is literally a hunk of steel. So
nice.
it's not going anywhere for
It
sure.
is pressed and bent sheet metal.
Yeah. Yep. So that was just cool too. That directed text comment reminded me that I didn't show you guys that yet either. So a lot of shit to show all the time. But yeah, that was a fun adventure too, tearing that thing apart. And I'm probably not gonna put it back together. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't remove any functional parts on that one, so it's not like I ripped all the mirrors out. You know, it's
basically just acrylic skin.
It's a class 4 laser now. Screw it.
Yeah, it's a class 4 laser now. It is just basically covered in acrylic skin, and I just don't want to deal with it, and so I'm not going to. That's my story. If I need an enclosed laser or something, I'll use the Mira. Look at Matt, all triumphant. Nothing you show us right now counts until you send me a picture on Discord. I don't care.
All right.
I can't see that. It's like a 480p.
Oh,
No,
look, imagine. Look how gorgeous that looks.
it's a mess. Take a picture.
Are you running line or fill?
I ran that in 58 seconds for that.
Is it line or fill?
That is Phil.
Phil? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it did like 4 passes over it. So, bidirectional, but like, so that was, I had to speed it up.
Me a picture.
I'll send it. Shut up. It's 1200 millimeters per second, frequency 25, max power 10, because you can do it less than 10, but it gets spotty, in my opinion. And that was with a line interval of 0.05 bidirectional cross edge. So it actually ran it twice because of the cross edge. So I'll send you a picture, sir. But that was 50. And now you could get this way better. But for a coin, for where you could zap it and put it into a rotator, taking it from, like, what were you saying it was? A minute and a half, right? 6 to do 9.5.
It was 9 of them in 6.5 minutes. So it was what, like 40 something seconds a piece.
47.
Oh, sucks to be you, Matt. Oh, you're still losing.
What did bidirectional?
Get it faster.
I'll get it faster.
He's gonna have to do flood fill. Oh no.
Flood fill actually would be pretty epic. I'm not gonna
That's what I used flood fill for the lettering on the back with the crosshatch, and it
Have
turned
you
out.
guys noticed
beautiful.
any problems with the time estimates on the UV?
No.
actually,
Time estimates on Galvo in general are just off. You have to tune them.
Yeah, I know. I knew that they were off. I just like had this big UV thing in for work, like just like a customer, non-channel related. And I was like, I wonder how long it thinks this is going to take. And I checked, and it was like 2 hours and 57 minutes. It was like a big thing on the UV. It was almost believable. So I was like, that's weird. I'm going to turn on flood fill because I need it to go faster than that. And I turned it on, and then it was like 7 hours and 45 minutes. It's like, that's not right.
Yeah, for Galvo machines, you have to tune it. So if you go into the device settings, the top right tab, it's like additional settings or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basically dedicated to simulation settings for like the move and acceleration speeds and all that. It's pretty accurate for gantry. Just Galvo, you need to
Think
really
like you already have your timing and delay settings in Lightburn's configuration. You think they'd just like yank from that and apply those values to a bunch of the movement speeds to make those more accurate. Even if they're set to defaults, they're still set. That's what the laser is going to move at unless you change them. And if you update it, it can update the time. I just feel like that kind of makes sense. I don't know. I'm not like Dev.
And
This is me right here. Oh, god damn it, Kyle. All right, fine.
nice timing. Chris said Santa's laser. Make sure you go through all the podcasts. There's a lot, but even just listening to the auto while you work, there's a ton of hidden gems and information. Absolutely agree. And speaking of that,
for every 3 dick and fart jokes, you get 1 valuable tool tip for laser marking.
A little nugget of information.
Well, I was going to say, Alex, you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that you got that hardware.
I did
for the live stream setup. Do you have a time frame of when you expect?
If things go the way I want them to, and I don't like punch a hole in my wall, maybe tonight.
Okay.
Ooh,
probably tomorrow. It
So-
depends. I
so
don't
we'll get the
I don't
buffer.
know when it's gonna not be full of garbage though. Like right now, I've got there's 7 random podcast episodes that haven't been cut for radio that are just completely jarbled and have the
31
full
seconds.
intro and outro and all that nonsense included. So it's right now there's literally just test MP4 files in there, and it doesn't reflect what the final stream is going to look like. The cool thing is the new way I'm doing it, I can add or remove files without restarting the stream, which is kind of cool. So I can update it on the fly. So you'll have to check back. But I think a basic live environment might be ready tonight. So
the benefit of that is you don't have to specifically go through and click on stuff to find anything. But if you listen to it in the background, where it's going to be feeding you random stuff while you're doing other things, it's kind of like listening to an audiobook while you work, and you're just picking up that knowledge.
it's a dirty audiobook.
I did that for
works.
a long time when I first found this channel 5 years ago. Was it?
Yeah.
5? It was 5 years ago. I would be down in my basement running one of my diodes.
Oh my god, Matt, this is terrible.
That's beautiful.
Look at this
Look at that.
fucking garbage.
Oh, look at that. So gorgeous.
That looks like shit.
Imagine having 10 minutes to come up
Anthony,
with
can you send me one of the UV one, please?
Oh my God.
Yeah, probably.
It's gotta
Matt,
be
this
better.
looks like shit.
Well, so did your face. Are you kidding me?
Nobody's paying for my face. They're paying for my brain.
Literally everyone here is a laser master. Can't remember.
What do you
I'm
guys
using
think in chat?
My
You
phone
think it
for a
looks like
camera.
shit? Because I do.
Let me slow it down so we can get that fine ass detail.
I don't
Laura,
think you're gonna
fine.
get that fine
It
ass
looks
detail,
fine
bro.
when you're looking at. Yeah, I know. It looks fine when you're looking at it from a foot away on Matt's
Well,
shitty
all right, real
webcam,
quick.
But
So
the
this is for
second
a
that you
bar where
fucking look
people
at
are
it up
getting
close,
trashed. This is for
Oh
a
my
bar where
God.
you're gonna get trashed.
Kieran
on.
says, "Sorry, Matt, looks
Oh,
bad."
God, fuck you, Gurian. Okay, but also that's fair.
Well, 31 seconds, I can wipe my butt with this plywood.
Let's see what.
Laura said Cheryl wanted to say hi.
Hi.
She's under the weather and has a migraine,
Oh,
so
sorry.
she's speaking through Laura. Thanks, Laura.
It's because it's Matt's birthday. that you're
And feel
sick.
better,
Blame
Cheryl.
him. Matt did this to you.
Yeah, she probably started throwing up when she started seeing this fast laser.
I know. She took one look at this right here and just fucking vomited all over
Oh,
the place.
God.
She clicked on the podcast to come in and say hi herself, saw this, threw up, and then logged off.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
my
fair. We never. I mean, you have a warning upwards, right?
Try running it in line,
I don't.
dude.
Try
See?
not using your fucking crappy laser that doesn't do any detail on anything.
Let's see.
You literally have a UV sitting right next to it. Just use that. That's the laser for this job.
You're telling me to use a UV? All right.
Yeah, if you don't have a fucking diode galvo, which none of you do, I think I'm the only one that has it. Gary
No,
wants you to turn off flood fill. I don't think turning off flood fill is going to save this. I don't think there's a flood fill.
No,
problem.
that's moving too quick. It's also the fact the beam is 3 times bigger, right? CO2 galvo.
Yeah.
So that's
At
what
least.
That's what the 110. Just so you guys
4 or
know.
5 times bigger.
Yeah. So that's what the 110. That's what the 3 times beam or what is it? 20 something times beam expander.
And I was using
You're
a
an 8X
300
beam
millimeter
expander.
Yeah,
lens on my
8x beam
UV.
expander. Yeah. 30 seconds to go. What are you talking about?
Says you got 30 seconds. Hurry up.
Oh fuck. Well, all right. I'm just gonna go ahead and give up then if it's 30 seconds. Whatever. Here's what I would say. If this is the kind of thing where I would tell the guy, and by the way, do you mind sharing how much did you charge per coin or no? You don't have to.
Not enough. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
I was
and that's what I
trying
was
to
gonna say. This
establish
is
a
where-
relationship with a really important foundation in our town, and I kind of lost my ass on it, but that's fine.
Yep. And that's one of those things you tell the guy, hey, listen, I'm willing to. I mean, how did you have that discussion? Because that's really the takeaway from this. Because I would literally say, here are the 3 like looks that you can have on the backside of this coin. Like this one is going to cost this much. This one's going to cost this much. This one's going to cost this much. Where are you on this? Like that's what
I didn't
would
even do that really. I just made some prototypes for them, and they picked a size that they liked, and then everything else was up for me. So I just kind of had to optimize the design a little bit to make it feasible because I couldn't. They kind of asked me to do it a little bit. I wouldn't say last minute, but I was on vacation out of town. And then the lady hit me up, was like, hey, can you still do this for us? And then I had family coming in. So like the whole thing was just kind of it was bad timing all around.
Yeah.
But
so it's just one of them you had to eyeball it.
yeah. So I mean, we got it done, and I got some decent exposure, and I built some really strong relationships with some people in our town who are influential. So I was happy with it.
Yeah, nice.
I'm telling you, this is the answer.
All right, let's see.
It's the Laser Pecker 2. You can get it for $699 right now off Amazon. It's $300 off if you count that. And it's just the basic package. So no rotaries, no nothing. It's literally just the scan head and like the little lift tower, and that's it.
Isn't that like an 80 millimeter work area?
Well,
Or does it say the field size?
yeah, you'd have to do less coins at once. Yes.
Yeah.
You would have to do less coins at once. Or you could look at something like the F1 Lite, which is just a little bit more. But again, doesn't have the IR source, so you're not paying for the IR.
Yeah.
It's $850, and that one's 110. So obviously you can't do 9 at once, but it's going to go faster than the UV for sure, with far less data loss than the CO2 Galvo is going to cause on your imagery.
Yeah,
I think this is the answer, dude.
With what's like commercially available, yeah, I feel like that's a really good option.
Yeah. Kieran's talking about the longer nano. Did you get that in a while?
Yeah, I did. So I've been testing it, and it's pretty decent.
$500 right now.
The things I'm struggling with that I was hoping it would have is like the typical Galvo feature set you get in Lightburn, but like all of the other machines that you actually brought up tonight has the same limitations with Lightburn.
They're all Gerbil machines.
They treat it as a G-code gantry machine essentially.
Yeah, and that's why I started like trying to figure out how I might be able to build a EasyCAD 2 board diode Galvo, because I feel like the functionality of the actual like Galvo stuff is kind of important to me.
Yeah. It's a nice machine.
Q10, Q1, Q1.
Yeah.
It's not on Amazon. Oh
no, it's on their website. It's an older machine. So the longer Nano is nice, and it also has a bigger brother, the Nano Pro, I think it is, which has a fiber source and a diode. So kind of like the F1. So for what it is in the price, I really don't mind it. It's actually perfectly fine. I really wish it had like an EasyCAD board.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think this is exactly what you're trying to build.
I'd be screaming from the rooftops.
I feel like that's probably still a Gerbil machine though, but I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe not.
It's an EasyCAD 2 controller.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's it. There it is.
If they sell like a larger field lens, that might be something that would interest me.
I mean, it's certainly larger than the others. That's got to be bigger than 100, right?
It says 110 on it.
Oh, is it? Does it? Yep. Okay.
Even if you like ripped the tower off of that and like mounted it to like your own work plate.
Yeah.
If it is an M55 size lens, which I looked through it, I didn't see a lens diameter on there. So
Yeah, it's
we
almost
have to have or check ourselves, but it's very small. If it is an M55, even if you were able to find diode rated wavelength lenses, the biggest you're going to find is a 210 lens in that size.
I wish these guys would hit me up. I love their machines. They're so cool.
Which a 210 lens for the amount of wattage you'd be pushing would be probably fine. But
Oh, hey, look, accessories.
yeah, they don't sell.
B4, B6, Titan 1.
Those are all fiber lenses. Yeah.
I bet you could email them.
Or like wavelength OE or what's that? Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't buy
wavelength
from
OE.
them. You got to find somebody that sells it.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna grab or if you're gonna try and grab wavelength OE sourced lenses,
They
you'd
are
probably just go to
M55s,
Wavetop Sign.
just in case you wanted to confirm that, but they are M55s.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Clack Shack says he has the Q1 and isn't terrible. I mean, the only thing that would concern me would be the field size. That's it. But other than that, it looks like a good machine. And
what if we go to AliExpress and type in like 455 nanometer M55 F beta? And
While you're pulling that up, I'm gonna do another question.
Sure.
Garant says, I got a question. I've successfully cut 1.5 millimeter aluminum with my 60-watt fiber.
Cool.
Wondering if increasing my offset would help in attempting to cut a 2 millimeter. So with cutting on Galvo, you have a couple of barriers, right? You're basically digging a little like trough essentially for your cut area. So by creating an offset, you'd be making that trough wider, which would help you. But my question is are you using wobble and are you using a cut line, or are you trying to use a fill for your cut? Because those functionally do similar things. And wobble's going to be more efficient and faster if you can get it to work like that. Another barrier that you might run into as well is your focal range. So if you're working with a really, really tiny lens, and you're hacking out something out of 1.5 millimeter material, well, like a 70 or a 50 millimeter work area lens is going to give you about 2 millimeters of like proper focal range. And if you're setting your proper focal height to the surface for an engrave and then you're cutting instead, you're basically using brute force for the last half of that cut. And you're relying on overpowering it or refocusing it at that point. So 2 tricks. You can actually down focus into the material just a hair, like a 0.5 millimeter, 3/4 of a millimeter, to try and stretch your focal range into your cut. Another trick is make sure you're using wobble. It's going to be more efficient and faster than trying to generate like a kerf cut using a fill.
he says he is using wobble.
You are using wobble. So I don't see using an offset would really help. You're just generating a.
He said he tried using a 110. Are you suggesting to use a bigger lens? And it's like there's a balance, because the bigger your lens, the better that depth of field gets, but the larger a spot you have. So you can use larger lenses as long as you have the power to put behind that larger spot size to continue ablating. A larger lens,
fine.
Yeah, a larger lens will perform better as long as you have the power. If you don't have the power, then it's moot because you're not going to ablate the metal.
I think he's running a 60-watt MOPA, if I remember correctly, off the top of my head.
So a 110 should be fine. You're going to get probably 5 millimeters of focal range with that, or 4 maybe.
Yeah, maybe out of a 60.
So as long as you're properly setting your focus and you actually validated your focus, you should be fine, I think.
I wouldn't use. I'd go for the 175 or even maybe a 300. I think that's the way to go. I would go with a fat lens. Is it a 60 or 100?
60. He's running a 60.
It's a 60. Okay, so
60
maybe not the 300. Maybe like the 175 or like a 200 though. If you have it, I would slap it in there and see what it does, because you're gonna get a much more consistent like removal of material all the way down on a larger lens. The smaller lenses are going to remove more material faster for a shorter period of time,
and
because then it's going to fall out of focus and you're going to lose it. So if you have that larger one, even if it's a little slower than maybe the 110 is in its first few instants, in the long term during the process of the cut, it will be much more consistent and probably a lot easier on you to get more consistent results.
And using cleanup passes in between, like a 10-3 or a 10-5 ratio, I found when I was cutting through the, what was I using? I was almost at 2 millimeters on the silver that I was cutting with my 30 watt and a 110 lens. But I would do like 10 passes with like the hard hitting power and low frequency. And then I would just raise the frequency a little bit and speed it up a little bit to kind of like just blow that slag out of the cut area, and then go back to some more cutting passes and then some cleaning passes. So I don't know if you're using cleaning passes at all, but that might be the game changer for you right there with your.
I mean, that's a really good point. And a huge thing to consider is like, let's look at lasers that are actually designed to do this. What are they doing? They're hooked up to those giant ass helium tanks full of nitrogen, and they're blasting it out at like fucking 50 psi. You know what I mean? To get some air in there if you can. You know what I mean? Get one of those like goosenecks for the air and hook it up to a pump and blast that sucker while you're doing the work, just to keep air moving over it and keep that slag blowing out of it as it's running along those lines. That's going to make a huge difference in and of itself. Because when you're really cutting the appropriate way, you're doing it on a gantry, and there is tons of air coming out of those machines as it's passing over doing its cutting work. And that's something that's fundamentally missing on the fiber. So if there's anything you can do to improve that, I mean, even if you just have something like the data vac, and you're just, you blast it with the data vac once every 5 minutes or whatever,
being
just
careful not to move it, make sure it's fixtured in place.
Right. That would be preferable to no air at all. And I think that would make a huge difference too, because that's essentially doing what those cleanup passes is doing. It's just doing it with forced air instead of a laser kind of doing the sweeping for you. And I feel like cleanup passes are great when you're trying to get depth on a large surface area that's being marked down, for example, like a coin. But I don't think they're as effective when you have like a deep valley or groove that you're trying to remove material from. At some point, that groove gets so deep that that light sweeping pass, the actual force generated by that reaction, is no longer enough to get the slag up and out of the groove, because it doesn't have any horizontal space to escape.
Just fall back in.
Yeah, right. When you're doing a coin, you've got a big surface, and the cleaning pass can force that slag out in any direction pretty much. Even if there's a hill or a slope, if you're doing something 3D, you can still like push things to travel in those general directions. When you're cutting, you have like you're dealing with like this. You know what I mean? And it's really hard to get stuff out of there. Air is your best friend. I think that's going to make like a massive difference. If you haven't tried using air, Geraint says, I didn't think of using air. I think air is probably going to be the number one best bet for you. Again, constant would be great. Constant following the beam as it was marking would be perfect, like a gantry does it. But even if you can't do it constantly, I think just like once every few minutes, just giving the whole thing a once over with something, again, like the data vac, would make a substantial difference in your cutting performance. So that's my input.
Another thing, just circling back to what Alex said about bigger lenses being helpful. One of the things that you balance into that too, aside from what we covered with like dot size and power to drive it and all that, is the benefit to going bigger than you need but not big enough that you're hurting yourself is that you're moving. What was that?
Sorry. What? Huh?
What? You're moving the lens further away from the material, and the problem is because galvos are basically cutting from a central point out, all of your cuts are going to have essentially a taper to them toward the base. So no matter what you do, it doesn't really matter. You're always going to get an angled cut, which is going to give you either a sharp burr or weird defect looking edge or something like that. And it almost always inevitably ends in requiring post-processing. So you need to sit there and file it, or you need to run it through like a media blaster.
Like that grinding blaster's not going to even do it, dude. You need like a grinding wheel. You know, just
whatever.
And God forbid
need
off center, because when I was cutting something with my UV at it did it in like the top left part of the field.
Yeah, no.
It came like, it was terrible.
Yeah, and 100%. I said earlier, I'm making a gesture at the camera if you can't see this, sorry, but I said earlier that it was like you're creating like this, but really you're creating like this, which is even worse for collecting slag. You're just basically making like a little sideways pocket, and gravity's hitting this edge, and just like you're just jamming the slag into it at that point. Air, dude. It's all about the air. Get some air going.
You have the gooseneck that you can show them like on Amazon?
No. Do you?
No, but it's basically this thing. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. So that's what it used to be on the buying guide, and they actually have one with a nozzle that already comes with it like that. That's actually straightforward. Or you can find 3D print ones. But yep, super nice.
I'll have someone send me a link after the show, and I'll slap it back up on the buying guide.
Yeah, definitely worth having, dude.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's a quick search. It's not a difficult thing to get your hands on. Well, we're over an hour.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, that was a fun way to end it. Matt has produced nothing of value.
Did you see the file that I got? Come on.
I see the file. The file looks great. Matt wants me to show the file because
he thinks show the file.
This is what I threw away because it didn't look good enough for me.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Here's the file, guys. If you guys want to see the file, this isn't good enough.
And here's the deal: this is where we talk about the right laser for the right job. That's a pretty damn good one. Here's what the UV did. I guess
send the picture. Send it so we can wrap the show. Come on.
All right, the UV did the shizzle. How much? What was the time on one of yours? I wasn't going for speed. I was going for like good look.
What was the speed per Anthony?
I don't know.
Just
you mean the time? The time was like in the 40-second time frame.
There you go.
That's dope.
And that was with a 300mm lens.
All right. 1 second.
And I ran it in line, which is why I was asking you to run yours in line.
Oh, I ran mine in fill like a dope. Okay.
I kept asking you to run it in line.
Oh, I thought you said, did you? My bad. Okay. So I'm going to send you what this looked like. So this was with fill, which was 2 minutes and 8 seconds on the UV. So here's this. Yeah, so the UV for sure is the correct thing.
Yeah, dude. That's the way.
So you can see even the gaps in the letters because the font that was used as a little.
Yeah, and I definitely wasn't trying to show you guys like, oh, the CO2 is the best thing. I was just trying to say if you're trying to crank shit out, that's why that's not the right one for the job, because look at the detail. I mean, if you look at the file next to that, you can literally see the arches on that third ring.
Yeah, I can't side by side them because it's this.
I know, but I'm saying like that's where it's one of those things where cost over value. This is where when you show the people a piece of wood like this that has all 3 coins, and you say this one took 52 seconds and will cost this much, but look how nice this one looks for another $1, whatever.
What size lens did you use on your UV?
So that's a 110 UV, and that's with me just farting around trying to find some quick things. I think you could speed that up a bunch and get it. Yeah. There's no way you get it close to 45 seconds with that, but running it line, I might be able to. Now I'm interested to see what it looks like.
I really like the way it looks filled.
I dropped a link to the Air Assist kit I bought.
I saw it
in chat if anybody really needs like a base setup for it.
Yeah.
By the way, if nobody's ever seen a UV, if you want to end the show with actual lasering, here we go. We'll see what it looks like.
Before we clear out too, Garant said, I have a gooseneck and a 3D printed a mount.
Oh, nice.
I've shared the 3D printed mount on Discord before. I'll at you with it, Alex. Let me know if you're okay with me putting that on the project database, because I'm sure that would be something people would find super useful up there.
So let's see. We'll hit start. Let's see. So, anyways, we'll let this run. But honestly, I don't know. I'm doing it. We'll see how it works. It might take a couple of minutes. So,
did you guys see the webcam look all like wavy for a second? It was like water. It was weird.
oh yeah, it's gonna get.
All right, while this runs, let me shout out our sponsor because I didn't do it earlier in the show, John's Plastics Plus. Guys, there's a discount code. It's down in the description. It helps support the channel. 15% off almost everything in the store. They still have ornaments in stock. I checked this morning. So if you are trying to stock up for Christmas, now is the time. They've got really nice glass ornaments. Ton of other stuff. Rhiannon's working on an episode right now about their patches. We're going to use our heat presses for literally the first time ever. We've never touched those heat presses. We bought them like a really long time ago. We've had them in the shop forever. So I'm excited to see that one. Lots and lots of Johnson Plastics stuff has been coming out on the channel, reviewing all different kinds of things in their stock. So if you're curious, check out the review section there. Go look at some of their stuff and use our affiliate link down in the description because they give us cash when you do it and it doesn't cost you anything. So it's a great way to help support the channel. Saves you money and we get some, and that's really ideal. That's the ideal situation. Also, your homework for today, if you are here live or watching the show after the fact and you've made it this far, that looks like shit.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to get the right settings, you goober.
I know it. I know. I'm not saying it's not you. I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying it looks like shit.
Try 1 nanosecond, 40 kilohertz, 81 millimeters per second.
All right.
He didn't get that. You're gonna have to send him that on Discord. There's no way he remembers that.
Absolutely. Need to. I'm a visual person.
Your homework today, guys. Listen, please, if you haven't already watched it, go watch those intro videos about safety. Even if you think you know everything about safety, just go watch them again. And then when you're done watching them, leave a comment and smash the like button. We're trying to get these videos in front of the people that need to see it, and that is how we do it. If you have groups or Facebook people or whatever, anybody you could think to share with, I just don't think we've ever produced more important episodes than those 4. They're very, very important, and nobody wants to watch it. Kyle told me the other day, no one wants to feel stupid, so they don't like watching videos like that because they hear about something they're not doing that they should be. And, I get that, but I still would rather you guys be safe. I made these episodes because I'm trying to take care of our community. It is important to me that, we all operate this equipment safely. I did my best to make them short. They're really short, guys. They're like 3 to 7 minutes, I think, is the longest one. They're not that long. And there's so many good tools in there that help you prepare to use your equipment in a safe manner. So even if you don't need it, guys, drop a comment on one of them. Share it with somebody you think that needs it. There's a playlist link in every single episode. That's super easy to share, and you can drop it and be like, hey, there's some really good information here. I really think you should watch it. Because it is important to me that we get those out in front of people, not just because I want the channel to grow, but because I think that it is the most relevant and important content we've ever produced on the channel for our community. So,
and it's probably the most neglected thing when people start.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. And nobody wants to make content like that either because it doesn't perform well. So there's not really any of it on YouTube. So please, for your homework today, just get that set of episodes, 4 episodes. Again, they're only 3 to 7 minutes each, very short. Get them in front of somebody that needs to see it, and get those out there so we can get those in front of more people because it is super important. And that's all I'm going to ask you guys to do. You don't even have to like this one. Don't waste your time liking this one. Just move on to the safety episodes and get that shared. I think that's all I've got. Do you guys have anything else you want to toss in before we call it a night?
I can't think of anything.
No.
Smash the like button on all of those videos and leave a comment.
Go. Yeah, just go smash the like button, guys. Leave some comments, little commenties here and there. And that's it then. I think I'm done. Thank you so much for being here with us, whether you're live or after the fact, especially live, though. Thank you, Laura. I see you in chat there. Thanks for all the great questions tonight, guys. I didn't even have to dig into the backlog. You gave us tons to talk about. We had some really good conversations. This was a good episode.
Yep.
I appreciate and love each and every one of you. and keep an eye on LETV because I'm working on it, and I will probably harass you on Discord when it's done. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.